Hey there, it's Crystal Lee Moore-Lucier here, also known as your Home Sweet Home 519 Realtor, Crystal Lee Moore, and this is Realtor Life, a fun and entertaining look at life in the trenches as a real estate professional in Ontario. I am so happy you're here. Let's get started. Today we're going to talk about how to deal with tough times, passion, focus, and resilience, and becoming the person you need to be to reach the goals that make your heart sing. So let's just jump right in. So when we're looking at the market in a year like 2024, I've heard two streams of conversation. Conversation number one, I was talking with a colleague and they were very honest about the fact that this is not their best year. It's especially when we compare it to 2021 and 2022 and even 2023, this year has been very challenging. We have sellers who kind of want and need this like almost unattainable price point, buyers who are really just struggling to make it happen, or buyers who are kind of standing on the sidelines. And of course, what does not help is the naysayers. And it can be really tough when we have all of these kind of things at play at the same time as obstacles for us. But I've heard several people, several trainers, several people that I very much respect say that the market and the economy they're not the ones that will dictate your outcome. You are the one that will dictate your outcome. And what does that mean? So yes, it's true that things are slower this year, but there are still houses being sold. There are still people buying houses and people selling houses. And that was the case when interest rates were like 20% and when interest rates were 7%. And now they are going back down. What I do find is that we have this stream of people who are just being very negative. And realistically, when you're looking at anyone that you want to listen to, we've talked to you guys at length before about how we really want to guard your heart, guard your mind, because the negativity, I mean, I'm not saying to kind of put your head in the sand like an ostrich, but I recently had a conversation with a realtor who kind of went against all of the research I've done, all of the people that I respect, and we're all thinking very rightly that the market is going to get very busy very quickly, that we're going to have a very busy spring and there's a pent-up demand, and I feel it. And this agent was very adamant that was not true, that the market was going to crash, and there were like YouTube videos to support his feelings, and I think everyone is entitled to their opinion. I think you have to choose who you're going to listen to. There's always going to be someone telling you that things will be bad. And I think ultimately you want to listen to the people that are on their way up and who really pay attention to all of the data. Brian Buffini is great for this. If you ever get a chance to listen to his mid-year update, his real estate updates are really great because he kind of he makes it his business to get the facts, the knowledge. He's getting data from banks. He's talking to NAR. He's doing all of these things, or NAR. Sorry, guys, my Canadian is showing. But ultimately, what you want to do, regardless of who you decide to listen to, is decide: are you in or are you out? And I'm saying this to myself as much as to you, because every now and then I will get off track and I will listen to the wrong people, or I will forget that I'm really good at this job and you're really good at this job. There are so many distractions in our world today, though, and there are a million things that you can let get you down. You can let it get you down when people don't believe in you. You can let it get you down if people are talking about you, or if you have to deliver bad news to a client, or if something doesn't go your way, or like there's so many different things that can get you down. And so as entrepreneurs, your number one job is to keep your mind right. So make sure that you're listening to the right things. Make sure that you are surrounding yourself with the right people. And at the end of the day, yes, it's a competitive business. There is enough business to go around. You want that abundance mindset. anyone I know who's in scarcity has a terrible time, terrible time. And if they seem like they're having a good time, just pay attention to the karma that they get if they ever treat people badly. Like, the scarcity mentality will make you step on someone else, and the abundance mentality will have you like walk alongside them. It is a much better way to live, trust me. So when we look at kind of this abundance mindset, you also want to dig into your why and find that passion again. Just refocus and remember that kind of that resilience. And I know for me as a newer realtor and even in newer markets, what has always made me stand apart is that I am so relentlessly focused. And it doesn't mean that I don't have a wonderful life. I have a family, I have friends, I give back, I volunteer, I work out. Like, it's a very holistic approach, but I'm very, very focused on making sure that my business is the very best it can be and that I'm the best I can be. And it is easy to lose that focus though. So if you go to a conference or you have a training, like I've said before, like, you don't want to make it your business to always be going to conferences and always be doing trainings without implementation. But it's these conferences that kind of refocus you. So I'm a team leader and I'm a community leader as well. So when I go to these conferences, I'm really trying to dial into the people who have a lot of experience leading, because I think learning from other people and that modeling, Tony Robbins talks about modeling and making sure that you're kind of taking advantage of the resources around you. So if someone is going to share with you the secrets that they've spent years and years learning, listen to them. Take notes. You don't have to do it exactly like them, but they have more experience than you do. So just listen. At the conference, there was a really great presentation with Roy LePage. We talked about knowing your numbers. And I would say, if you don't know your numbers as a realtor, and my hand is up too, but you need to know your numbers. And what does that even mean? Like, when I say know your numbers, what does it mean? So on the first level, know what the market is doing. My brokerage with Roy LePage, we are really lucky. Like, our broker will actually send out a snapshot every month, and we get it. And it just tells us all the details. It tells us the average sales price. Right now in London, it's 629,000, units sold, new listings, active listings, like all this stuff. And it's really good to know that, because when somebody asks you about it, you don't really want to be the person that has no idea. You don't want to be the person that's kind of scrambling to look it up, because it shows that you're a professional and if you're dialed into what's happening in your market, in your industry. So that's level one, know the market and how that's working. You also want to have an idea of the interest rate, because people may ask you. Remember, though, that we are not mortgage professionals and we are not allowed to pass ourselves off as mortgage professionals. So you're allowed, know the interest rate, but don't give mortgage advice. This is where you have an opportunity to refer and build networks and bridges with amazing other professionals in your community. And it can be really great to just lift people up, and that reciprocity, it may come back from them, it may come from someone they know, it may come from another direction entirely. But again, remember, abundance, so we can lift other people up and help people in the process, which is kind of fun. So you want to know the numbers, know the interest rate, and then also you want to know your own numbers. So what's your average sales price? What is your average commission? Things like what's your average days on market for you? What is the market and what are you doing? And then beyond that, if you really what we learned on this conference was really learning, what are you spending for every listing and what are you spending for every buyer? And I know for me, I always go over budget on listings, but if I'm running a business, I shouldn't be going over budget on listings. I either change the budget or I change the spending. And so sometimes we just feel like we want to do everything, and that's fantastic. I will say, I've noticed this year, I've had a few run-ins with clients that really do not see the value, and they're actually okay for other people to lose money and not them, which is really disappointing. But at the same time, it's a market where people, again, if you're in scarcity, you're thinking about you, and we don't want to be in scarcity. We want to think about others and know that it will all come back. It'll all come around, good or bad. So just do the good. But the numbers that they were talking about too. So you also want to know if you're paying an assistant or if you're paying for subscriptions. The one thing I would caution you when you're doing these numbers and budgets is to remember the difference between an expense and an investment. We teach our clients about this all the time, right? Like you're investing your trust and your commission in us, and we are delivering. So you're not spending commission. It's not like a static item. And so investing. And then we also look for us when we're looking at coaching or training or an assistant or whatever it is, you're investing. And so one of the rules of thumb when you look at learning and training, you want to spend about 10% of either what you earn or what you hope to earn on training. And please make sure it's the right training. So training that's good for you, that you can lean into and really enjoy. And if you can do it with other agents, that's fantastic. So I've said before, I run a mastermind at my office, but I've also just joined in with a training group for a 10-week training that starts next week, because I think it's great to network and learn at the same time with agents all over Canada. So however you want to do it, but there's an expense to that. It's not free. Not only am I taking the time to learn, I'm also taking an hour of my time. And one of the things you have to calculate is, what is your time worth? And the very simple calculation for that is you actually just take what you've earned in a year and how many hours you work typically in a week. And I know in the spring we probably all work like an insane number of hours, and then in the summer maybe less. But you take that average and then check out what you're making an hour. So if you're making somewhere between, or let's say $25 to $75 an hour, it's important to look at that. So if you're going to do a training, you have to include that. And if you're going to do admin work that you could pay someone else to do, you also have to look at that. So it's really important just to know those numbers. And I would say it's a great activity to just write them down. If you're not sure, go through your bank, go through your bank credit card and your banking account, your business bank account. And if you don't have a business credit card and a business bank account solely for business, now's the time to do one. So just take a credit card, take an account. You can open a special one if you want, or just designate one as your account. I have a personal real estate corporation, so that's now, but I used to just use a different account and a different card. Whatever level you're at, it's important to just be able to track that. Because even for me, I wasn't really tracking my numbers. Like I said, I kind of got off track this year, and I was able to just go into my account and check out what I've been spending, and create basically a chart. What are photos? What is staging? Have I hired a plumber for someone, a landscaper, a painter, a cleaner? We're very a full service, what do you need? And so those are important numbers. But know your numbers. And once you can kind of remember the number side of it, just stay focused. So again, what are your numbers for your goals? How many calls are you supposed to make a day? How many notes are you supposed to send? How many pop-bys are you supposed to do? If anyone's listening that doesn't do Buffini, pop-bys are just you're giving a gift. It can be anything. I usually do pop-bys in the moment. So when I meet with people at any point, I bring a little something with me, usually a vitamin C pack or liquid IV or Kleenex, whatever, or chocolate or candy. I'll have a bunch of stuff that I can give. But you want to pick those. So for my mastermind, what we do is 5-5-5. So if you can do, and this is low, right? But if we just really want to build up that accountability, 5 calls a week, 5 notes, 5 pop-bys. That's your baseline. I think for me, I at one point was supposed to do 65 calls a week, which even I think is insane. 10 notes and 10 pop-bys. But you can change those. If you think calls are easier, then do calls. If you think notes are easier, do notes. If you think I'm crazy for suggesting that you write a note to somebody, a really great script for that note is, hi, Bob. I hope you're having a really great September so far. I look forward to keeping in touch, and I hope that you have a fantastic Thanksgiving. I'm here for any real estate questions. Crystal. It's super simple. And I promise you, there's no person on the planet that will get a card from you and be offended. And let's say there's one or two people in the world that would be offended by a card, they're crazy. So ignore them. Everyone else will be happy to get a card from you. So that's knowing your numbers. And then again, just we're getting into the time. This is the fourth quarter. This is the time to really be setting your goals for next year. And one of the activities we're doing lately is make a list of all the things you would need to do to become the person you need to be to achieve the goals that are in your heart. What does that mean? Okay, so let's say your goal is you just want to be like this top producer and you want to be first class plane tickets, you'd like a house on the beach, whatever it is. Are you presenting in your life as the person who could do that? Are you getting up early every morning and doing a morning routine, which, by the way, most of the top executives in the world do? They're all up at like 5:30 or 6 and they hit the gym, and then by the time 8 o'clock runs around, they've already had their morning. Can you do that? Is that how bad you want it? Are you wasting your money on things like fast food or Amazon? And it is easy to fall back into that trap. So I went on a no online shopping kind of frenzy for June, July, August. And I let myself buy again online in September. And let me tell you, it was not good. So I may be going back to an online ban because it is too easy to order things online. They're all technically things I needed, but we'll see. So I think whatever it is that you need to do, and make a list. Like it might be like, let's say you want a loving relationship, but you're at the office working, or you're out like 7 days a week and you never spend time with your family. That's really hard, right? Those are not, they don't align. So something's got to give. Or let's say you want to be the kind of person that works out, but you don't go to the gym. So like you need the person that wants to work out is really going to need a gym membership. So that's a good place to start. But little things like that. So it's a great activity to do. Grab a piece of paper, throw on some kind of instrumental music, and just write it down. Like set 20 minutes or a 30-minute timer, turn off your phone and just go for it. The other thing too is as you're going through all of these growth changes, everything, you're going to notice that some people will meet you at your level. So you're going to be, the higher your vibration gets, you're going to attract more high vibration people. The people with a lower vibration are going to have a big problem with you. And that is tough. It is tough to deal with. It is tough if people are kind of being negative. Hopefully they're not negative to you or about you. It is said that small people talk about other people, and bigger people talk about amazing ideas and goals. Don't be the person talking about other people. Be the person that is inspiring and helping and who's attracting those high vibration people. Find people that really want to talk about amazing things. Your clients may want to talk about their hopes and dreams, and you'll start to find that you'll attract higher quality clients the more you grow, which is really cool. It's it's a really great thing. I've been doing a lot of Mind Valley. So Mind Valley is it's a cool, it's a subscription program and you become a member, but I'm doing like a manifesting 30-day program. Really, really cool. Like it just feels good. A lot of meditations in there. And I feel like I keep attracting really great opportunities. But I have noticed that there's people around me that that don't like it. There's almost like not a conflict. I don't even know what the word is, but it is uncomfortable, and you have to fight that because they don't matter on your journey. They matter as people, absolutely, but not on your journey. On your journey, they're insignificant. You just keep going, eye on the prize, focus on your purpose, be passionate, be resilient, and be that person who can achieve your goals. So I hope this helps. My name is Crystal Lee Moore-Lucier. I am your Home Sweet Home 519 Realtor, Crystal Lee Moore. I'm so happy that you joined us today. If you'd like to be on the podcast for an interview, would love to chat with you. Have a fantastic day.